This is a short clip from, I think, yesterday's video where I had discussed having a Train Tech SFX20 sound capsule in my diesel Pullman, and one of the comments that came back, I think quite correctly, was that the sound of the Pullman's motor, and in particular the serrated or knurled wheels on the track, was drowning out the sound of the wonderful SFX. So a possible solution to that would be to fit smooth wheels. The difficulty is I find it's hard to get smooth wheels for that bogie, so I sought an alternative solution. This is the power bogie from a later generation of Triang locomotive. Would have been used in the Class 31 and Class 37. I think it's an X337 power bogie. The wheels in this power bogie are in some ways mechanically similar to the wheels in the diesel Pullman bogie, but these wheels have got nylon axles and therefore cannot pass the return track current through the chassis. However, as I've been through before in a couple of videos, fitting extra pickups underneath the older style bogie overcomes that problem. Now the benefit of these wheels is that they're more readily available than the older ones for the Pullman and DMU type bogie. So what I have done is I have taken these wheels, which unfortunately happen to be high profile, milled them down and 3D printed an axle with cog or gear to use in the blue Pullman. The only mechanical difference really is that these extra pieces on the end which support the axle in the chassis of the Class 31 type bogie get in the way. They're not required in the blue Pullman type bogie, and indeed stop it fitting in, so they have to be snipped off, as in that chassis the axles rest on the chassis. So just very briefly, brass plate super glued to the base plate with phosphor bronze soldered to that after the gluing has been done. A wire is taken from the brass plate to a little tab of phosphor bronze that gets tucked in along with the brush on the return side of the motor. Okay, so the assembled bogie is now on the track. Let's see what happens. That certainly for the moment looks to be quite a success. Not sure how well videoing this will work, but I can always just delete it. Okay, so in here I have, take my hands away so you can see it, a little socket there, which means that if you want to service the bogie outside of the locomotive completely, then you're free to do so. So on thinking about this, I don't think I want to desolder that. What I want to do is put another one of those on to the bogie that I'm going to put in here, with the intention of getting a quieter run. Okay, a bit more relaxing doing that off camera than having you all watch me burn my fingers. So I've replaced this old inductor with a modern one, and similarly the capacitor was a bit past its best. I know how it feels, and I've put a newer one of those in, and we have a socket on there, and I put a battery on it, and believe it or not, it still works. So it's a matter really now of putting that in here and just hoping that it all comes together. Okay, so it's all back together. It's hopefully on the track, so let's see what happens. It's not as fast as the other bogie. It's possible with wheel slippage because these are now smooth wheels, obviously. But certainly the sound capsule is much more evident. The process I used for milling the wheels was probably pretty straightforward and a bit crude, I should imagine. I pulled the wheels off the nylon axles and inserted a nut and bolt and then put them in the chuck of a battery operated drill. These high profile wheels, I find the rims are about 16mm per the micrometer, and you really need to take them down to more like 15.2 in order to get them to run on code 100 track. This is basically all you need to do this process. It was good weather today, so I chose to do it outside, as you do get metal filings all over the place. Okay, so I've now changed out the DMU's wheels for smooth wheels as well, and it is perhaps even quieter than the, well, you couldn't describe it as quiet, but it is quieting down more than the Pullman is quieting down, I would say. This doesn't have the sensor fitted in it yet, nor has it had the capacitor value increased. I'm waiting for capacitors, and I'll do both at the same time. Intriguingly, it had been running for so long, the capacitor had been sufficiently charged to outrun the sound capsule by the looks of things, and there we go. So that was actually probably ideal.